And what's very exciting is, Kensington is now 91 years old. Oops. And he's going to be here in this hall at the end of March. And it's a really exciting thing. We want to get a lot out of you. We want to find out what you think.
We've got a hand up here.
He said, was he 11 when he escaped?
Oh, when he escaped, he was about 21. When he first joined the Scouts, he was about, I think he says 11.
11. When he's in the park, he says, yes, I became a Boy Scout. He started being a Boy Scout when he was 11. And then he was captured when he was maybe 18, and then he escaped when he was 20. I think it's that.
Okay, so obviously, Kajik was like a Boy Scout. And that's why he was like captured and everything in the Second World War.
You got a question there?
Oh, we got a question.
Where did he go after he escaped?
Well, he escaped in the car, and then they had to drive really quickly away. And he basically escaped into the mountains, and they had this massive pursuit by the SS, who were on the German side. And they basically had to drive straight up into the mountains and abandon the car. And afterwards, everything he'd learnt about being a scout came into action, because he was like had to be with the other prisoners who had escaped, and they all had to be in a group together, and they basically had to use all the things they'd learnt in Scouts to get through the next few years. And in Poland, all the underground army in Poland in the Second World War were made up of Scouts, pretty much. Scouts, Girl and Boy Scouts made up that army.
So that's what he did afterwards. He joined the Polish Underground Army.
He had to unfortunately live in very difficult conditions, like in forests and stuff. So I'm going to sing this song, and it's called Commander's Car, and it's about when he's like 50 metres away, 80 metres away from the final gate in this place called Auschwitz concentration camp. And the barrier's still down. They're in this car and they're thinking, my goodness, if we don't get out of the car, we've got no documents, no passes, and so we have to do something really urgent. Yes?
Why is it called Commander's Car?
Commander's Car. Why is it called Commander's Car? Because Kajik, when he was in this concentration camp in Poland, which was a Nazi concentration camp, he stole the commander's car to escape from the concentration camp out. And it was a very complicated escape. It didn't just happen like that.
So the commandant was in charge of the camp?
Yeah, the commander was in charge of the camp, so he stole.
And it was his car that they took?
Commander's car.
So that's why it's the commander's car.
How did they take it?
How did they take it? Well, because he'd been a Boy Scout, he was very clever. And Boy Scouts are clever, and Girl Scouts are clever. Scouts are clever, apparently. Are they?
Yes.
So,
But he was lucky because his friend Yenik, the car mechanic from the Ukrainian car mechanic, he worked in the garage in the camp. He was still a prisoner, but they made him have a sort of job there as well. So he managed to get the car on a Saturday, because all the officers in the camp weren't there on Saturday, so he managed to steal the car because he knew where it was, and he was allowed to drive it as part of his work.
if you want us to come back, who wants us to come back? Because if you want us to come back, we will show you what happens to him after the escape. If you want us to come back. Right, hands up. Who wants us to come back? Okay, we're coming back then.
Well, that's good. That's a good show of hands.
Alright, I'm going to sing. Afterwards, we're going to try and get some responses from you, because it'd be really nice to give these messages from Scouts in London to Kajik.